Good morning, everybody. I'm Luca Turella, and I'm one of the principal investigators here at CIMeC. And my group is basically studying motor control, so how we basically survive in our environment and how we act within our environment. Today, I'm here as the delegate of a specific program, the SISSA-UNITN program, which is a type of program that you can apply when you enroll in our master's course. Basically, this is a joint educational program that puts together two of the best research institutes of Italy, so obviously CIMeC and the SISSA in Trieste. So when you basically apply for our master course, you can also apply for this specific program, and basically we will select up to 4 students that will be basically part of this special agreement between the two research centers. So what is the core idea between these program is to try to provide let's say, environment for fostering new type of project between the CIMeC and the SISSA. And the idea is that the people that will be enrolled in this program will have 2 supervisors, one here at CIMeC and one at SISSA. And the idea is to try to develop within the 2 years of the master course a project that basically is trying to exploiting the resources of CIMeC and the resources at SISSA. So let's go more into details in this. So the selected students will have some obviously economic possibilities, so they will get a free university accommodation, both here in Trento and in Trieste, and they will also have an award for the 2 years, okay? So the programs is basically fixed, and you will have to basically be here in Rovereto at CIMeC for your first year, and the second year you will be in Trieste at SISSA, okay? So the first year you will follow exams as all the other member of the master student that are basically here in Trento. So the main idea is that you will have to cover the exam that all the other students also have to cover, but you will have some events that are only for you. So the first one is basically the presentation of this joint program that, let's say, normally 1 month after the start of the master course will present to you all the details about how you're staying here in Rovereto and you're staying in Trieste will be, and will basically present you all the opportunities that this joint program will offer. Then we normally, during your first year, organize a visit at SISSA. So we will go in Trieste, you will meet PhD students and principal investigator at SISSA so that you can get to know them and understand basically, for example, which is the lab where you would like to work, and basically you will have a look at the facilities that are in Trieste, okay? So this might sound a bit awkward, but I like to put this slide every year because, especially for foreigners, they don't realize when they apply that Trento is here and Trieste is here and there are 300 kilometers between them. And basically you will have to spend your first year in Trento and then you will have to be based in Trieste for the second year, okay? For Italian applicants, this will be kind of trivial. So the idea is that during your first year, you will basically follow the course as the other students in Trento, and then you will move to Trieste. The idea is that during your first year, you contact a PI of CIMeC, and you start discussing a project that you can basically then take on when you are at SISSA. The idea is that we want to foster the collaboration between these 2 centers, okay? So you need to be proactive if you are enrolled in this master project, because basically it needs that you somehow are trying to get the best from these 2 research institutes, okay? So as I said, SISSA is different from CIMeC because SISSA is just a research institute. It's not a university. There's a university in Trieste, but SISSA has only a PhD school. So the environment is different from the environment that you have here at CIMeC, okay? SISSA has some different opportunities that can offer that we at CIMeC don't have, and we will go into details later. And finally, obviously, the program that I'm the delegate of is at the level of the two universities, but you will have the program with the cognitive department in SISSA and not with the other department, okay? So at the second year, when you will basically move to Trieste, you will have to follow the remaining courses that are pretty few, and basically these are offered by the PhD school at SISSA, okay? So the other things that you have to do at SISSA is your internship and your thesis, okay? All the details about what I'm saying now, you can find it here. You just Google CIMeC, UNITN, SISSA program, and you will find all the administrative duties that you have to fulfill, okay? But this is just to give you a general idea on how it is the structure of this program, okay? So this is an example of the courses that they offer. Obviously, they are different from the one that we offer here, because here we are offering mainly courses for master students and not for PhD. So as you can see from the titles, they are really focused on normally on some topics or on some hands-on abilities that I can provide, like neuroimaging data analysis or statistics. And as you will see later, normally they are also introducing you to the topic of the different labs, so that you can also have an idea of what is going on at SISSA, okay? So these are the labs that are at SISSA. There are 6, and they offer different type of topics and different type of methodologies that you can basically exploit during your stay. We will go through them now, one after the other. And this is basically where, if you are enrolled in this specific part of the master course, basically you will spend your second year, okay? So the first lab at SISSA is the lab of Matthew Diamond. Matthew is basically studying somatosensory perception, and mainly through behavioral and electrophysiology studies in rodents. So the idea is that if you are interested in having an experience, for example, in electrophysiological recordings and in studying models of the mouse brains that can be applied, for example, in comparison to humans, this could be an interesting place where you're making your thesis. And the idea is that you might contact a PI at CIMeC that is also interested, or is already collaborating with Matthew, and you will try to put together a project that is basically following the 2 years that you are making here. One here at CIMeC and the second year at SISSA. The second lab is the Visual Neuroscience Lab, led by Davide Zoccolan, and Davide is mainly focusing on visual object recognition, and he's doing let's say, different type of studies, both in humans and also in electrophysiology in rodents, and some computational modeling. So in this case, for example, there are also many PIs at CIMeC that are doing like visual object recognition, for example, in human, and you might think about joining a joint project or trying to propose a new project between these two groups, okay? Then we have Alessandro Treves. Alessandro is mainly focusing on understanding how the memory and the brain organize, and he's doing mainly computational modeling. And also in this case, you might be interested in, for example, this kind of topic or this kind of methodology. And if you are enrolled in a project, you might try to contact directly, for example, Alessandro, and try to figure out a project that suits your interest. So the main idea here is that these 2 years project and these 2 years master opportunity that we are offering you is also in your hands to make it happening in the best way. So you also need to be proactive and try to figure out what is the best that you can get from CIMeC and SISSA, because this is a really unique opportunity to work in both environments, okay? Then there is Raffaella group, the Neuroscience Society lab. Raffaella Rumiati is, at the moment, really involved in understanding the social aspect of cognitive neuroscience. He's mainly doing like human studies, like in brain lesion patient, TMS studies, and fMRI studies on the social aspects of cognitive neuroscience. And she's also collaborating with people here at CIMeC, so also in this case it's pretty easy to find a common project that you might pursue in the 2 years of the master course. Finally, Davide. Davide is basically now one of the new member of SISSA, and he's basically interested in language and abstract cognition, and he's doing a series of studies, mainly behavioral studies and neuroimaging studies in normal adults. And finally, Domenica is also a new entry, and she's just arrived last year at SISSA, and she's basically interested in understanding how space-time and numbers are represented in the brain, and she's mainly doing neuroimaging studies. And also for her, it would be kind of pretty easy to find some joint project that you can conduct here at CIMeC and at SISSA. So for any kind of information you need, you can contact me directly, and I will provide you any kind of information about this specific program. And obviously you can ask Massimiliano also for other information about the master course, and Claudia, which is the administrative person. So she basically is the person that you have to contact for more administrative things and not things related to more the more, let's say, scientific or educational aspects of the program. So all the information that I tried to condense in these 10 minutes are basically available online. So if you want to have a better idea on all the details about this program, and also I suggest you to basically directly go and see the opportunities that SISSA is offering you on the SISSA website, particularly on the cognitive neuroscience department, which is the department with whom we have the collaboration. Okay, so this was all from my side. If you have any kind of question, you can ask me later, or also during the lunch.